what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is The Mental Breakdown. I'm your host, Joey Velez. Happy Saturday. Nice, gloomy, rainy day here in Texas. We're going to go out and maybe hit a round of golf, but, maybe I'll just give my body an extra day of rest instead. Um, One thing that I've been grateful for recently is, I'm a big basketball fan, big Warriors fan, being from the Bay Area and they're starting to play really, really well again, and it's been really exciting. But I think why I'm grateful for that is because it brought up memories of what they were like in the mid 2010s, going on their first championship run. So just thinking about the fun that was, the times I had with friends, going to games, watching playoff games at home. It was a really, really special time. So I'm just, not only grateful that that moment happened, but also that, that joy is now coming back again. It's really, really fun thing to be a part of. So one thing I've seen a lot recently with some of the people I work with is this idea of turning the page. So what I mean by that is how quickly do we go from one performance to the next? Because it's not easy to perform your best when your mind is on the previous performance. And that goes for good or bad performances. I think a lot of times, as my daughter chooses to grab the biggest bone he has and drop it on the hardwood floor, I think oftentimes we think of an inability to move on to the next thing is because something bad happened, which is definitely something that happens too. But I think it can also happen when good things happen to us. Maybe I'm still savoring the previous performance and all the good that happened that I haven't switched my attention to focus on what I need to be doing for the next one. So not only does my decision making get impacted, maybe my reaction time gets a little bit slower and ultimately leading to not performing up to my full capabilities. So if I'm able to move on to the next performance while still not completely ignoring the previous one, because I'm sure we've talked about this before, but being able to reflect on your previous performance, whether good or bad, can help with long-term skill development, can actually help you be better for the next performance. But if we want to maximize our chances at success, we have to be able to end one performance and now I can move on to the next. And I think a lot of that comes with what sort of routine you're doing once the current performance is finished. High level performers, they have a pre-performance routine to help them get ready for the upcoming battle, the upcoming game, the upcoming performance. So when we're talking about a post performance routine, we're really taking the same idea, but now using it to help me get ready for whatever the next thing is. So I think the first and foremost is allowing yourself time to experience whatever emotions, thoughts come with that previous performance, right? Let's say you had a bad performance and it upsets you. I think that's okay. I think it's wrong to try to say, hey, don't be mad that you failed. Anybody in their right mind is going to be upset that they failed. So I think allowing yourself that time to experience whatever emotions you want to experience can be really beneficial. Once that time is up and once you've allowed yourself to experience those emotions, I think the next thing is just taking a nice big deep breath or two or three or four or however many you feel like you need to take to provide you that mental reset. And we've allowed ourselves to experience the emotions. Now let's take a deep breath to not only kind of relax our mind and body, but to get our attention back to something that's happening right now, which is my breath. But then use some sort of cues, some sort of affirmations to guide your attention to what you want to do moving forward. Right? So maybe that's telling yourself, hey, go through your pre-performance routine now. Hey, maybe that's telling yourself, hey, next thing, but really switching your attention to the next action that needs to be made. Because I think oftentimes what happens is, and this is where we may fail, is, I experience the emotions, I take a deep breath, but then I don't give myself something to pay attention to. So my mind goes directly back to what was causing the intense emotions in the first place. Okay, so it's not just about allowing yourself to experience emotions. It's not just about giving yourself that deep breath and using that as a trigger to mentally and physically reset. but then also giving yourself something now to pay attention to. Where do I want my attention to go? And if you have time, maybe that's where you can implement like a post-performance reflection. What were 1 to 3 things I did good? How do I make sure I do them again? What are 1 to 3 things I didn't do so good that I want to make sure I do better next time? Because there's always going to be something that's next. There's always going to be something you have to get ready for, but that doesn't mean you don't have to process what happened beforehand. That doesn't mean you don't have to allow yourself the time to cope with whatever just happened. But having a routine allows you to effectively process those emotions and allows you to turn the page on the next thing. And that's what I have for you all today. So being able to turn the page and getting ready for the next performance. And so thank you all for your time. Have a great rest of your weekend. And don't forget, today is a great day to make an impact on somebody's life. All right, y'all, have a good one.